Hello, everyone. It's Mike from Downtown Comics, and I'm here as always with James Rossman. James, how are we doing today?
Good, Mike.
All right, we're going to talk some comic book news. So we did this first time last week.
Yeah.
We had fun doing it.
We did.
So we're going to do some more. And I'm going to let James take the wheel, and I'm just going to listen like you guys and put in some pithy comments when I can. So as always, downtowncomics.com is the place to go. And liking, sharing, and subscribing is always appreciated. So, all right, James, what's in the news comic book-wise?
So, as I'm sure everybody's aware, I think I may have talked about it the first episode where Wonder Woman the movie is currently being written, or
yes,
I think currently being written.
Yes, you mentioned that.
So there's also, I don't know if you remember, but there was also a show that's going to be that they said is still in the works called Paradise Lost.
Okay.
And so essentially, it'll be about a series about life on Themyscira before Diana was even born.
Okay. So live action.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. Okay. So I think that'll be neat. That'd be interesting to see how much, because I haven't read has there been a lot of Wonder Woman books before she was born? I don't.
I mean, there's definitely been probably some miniseries and stuff like that about Themyscira, pre Diana, but I am not a Wonder Woman. I am not as knowledgeable about her backstory in comics.
Same.
I mean, just one of the characters that I was more of a Marvel person, and even DC, I gravitated towards Superman, Batman, and I read Wonder Woman on and off. But a little bit of the George Perez run, a little bit of the John Byrne run. Whenever when people would talk about it, I'd pick it up. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Because actually, speaking of George Perez, this is actually it'll be. From the 2001 comic book Paradise Island Lost. Mm-hmm. That's essentially the Phil Jimenez.
Yes.
I think, and George Perez. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's the show will be taken. I bet you it'll be another. It'll probably be on HBO Max, I assume.
Sure.
So because I think Lanterns is going to be on Max as well. Right. So I think everything in show related in the DCU is going to be on Max. I think
should be.
So yeah. But no, yeah, so that'll be, James Gunn is like, no, this is slow moving. He's like, we have other priorities, but.
So they don't have any dates for any of this stuff?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so I'm excited. Hey, give me all the DC stuff, possible.
Sure.
So, but no, next is the Spider-Man, the animated series finally gets a, 27 years or 30 years, was it, I think it was wasn't it just Spider-Man the animated series? Because they left on a big cliffhanger.
Okay. Are you talking about the 90s?
Yes.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I actually went back and rewatched the last couple episodes of the series. But essentially the show ended with people wondering where Mary Jane went. So Peter married Mary Jane, who turned out to be this hydro-powered clone created by Professor Miles Warren.
Okay.
And did you ever watch that series or no? It's been a minute. That's why
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
But I don't know. Not religiously.
Yeah.
No.
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 Because I think it went on for 3 seasons, if I remember correctly. But no, the real Mary Jane had disappeared into this interdimensional portal, and the series basically ended with Madam Web offering Spider-Man this reward because he saved all of reality from Spider Carnage, I think, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And these multiversal wars essentially. So she's offering him this, to transport him to another dimension to find the real Mary Jane.
Okay.
And to kind of hopefully give him some happiness, because I know a lot of a big gripe with the last long running Spider-Man series, where a lot of people said it's like they'll give Spider-Man, Peter Parker, a little bit of happiness, but they'll snatch it away.
Sure.
So it's never,
Yeah, that's kind of the character.
Yeah. So, but no, I think it's going to be called Spider-Man 94. is what the
Okay, so it's kind of like what they did with X-Men 97.
Yeah, 97. Yep,
Okay,
I think
all
so.
right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
So. And do we have any? Was there any dates on that?
There wasn't. No.
Okay.
Yep.
All
so,
right.
but yeah, I'm
Coming?
excited.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right.
But so yeah, next up we have I don't know if you've seen in here recently. I think in the past, I would say 2 days.
Okay.
James Gunn was in some interviews and he was basically saying how his Superman he's making him more vulnerable. Not like he literally said instead of someone that could he doesn't want someone that could punch planets.
Right.
Okay. So and he was he talked about Batman where a lot of people like Batman because he can be beat. So he essentially said he's like this Superman can be beat in in this universe, at least to start out with.
Sure.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the best Superman's always been one that has some weaknesses because because obviously if he can beat anyone, then what are we worried about? And then you have to come up with these ridiculous, overpowered bad people to fight him because that would be the only people that could hurt him, and it just forces things on a power level that it just makes him stand out from everyone else, and it's just then you get to a point where Superman can take care of this. Why do we need a Justice League? Why do we need Batman? Yep. Why do we need Flash? That kind of thing. So
that could honestly be said about when Superman's in his gold form, where it's like most of the time he's not like that all the time. But what was Superman? Oh my gosh, there's essentially like a Superman that's in a gold form, but he was like in the center of the sun, like training for a long time. I wish I could remember what I should have wrote it down, but
you got me on that.
Yep.
One. Okay.
And which I didn't even know that was a thing because it. Yeah, and I was like, wait, this doesn't make sense. But no, I'm excited that he's doing that. Plus, I think I may have mentioned it last episode where this Superman, he's only been Superman for 3 years. So
okay.
So, but yeah, so that's I feel like this episode and last episode, there's a lot of James Gunn. Superman's about to come out, so yeah.
I'm sure we're ramping up the Superman hype. I'm starting to see the commercials everywhere.
Exactly.
I really just don't want to.
I'm trying to stay away.
Just wait till the movie comes out.
Yep. But no, we got our the guy that it was Tom Reyes. He was cast as Clayface.
Okay.
And the script is written by Mike Flanagan.
Okay.
Which
so this is a Clayface movie.
It is, yeah, live action. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Which actually I'm super excited for because I love Mike Flanagan's work. Let's see, he's done a lot for Netflix. He's done Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, The Midnight Club, and I think there's 2 more. Or the Fall of the House of Usher or something.
Okay.
But honestly, I've watched them all and they're really good.
Okay.
So very good. He won't be directing it, which was kind of a bummer. I kind of wish, but he's writing it, so I'm super excited for that. Okay. And I think it's James Watkins, which I don't know who that is. That's the who's directing it. So,
okay.
Yep.
All right.
And
any date on that?
I don't recall. I think there is, but I don't remember what the date is. Yeah.
All
right. But so just the same as Superman. It was Superman. What was it called first? Superman.
You mean the movie?
The movie, yeah. Because it was like Superman : something. Oh my gosh, what the heck was it called?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was right before, or it wasn't that very long, and then James Gunn was like, "I'm just calling it Superman."
Okay.
So,
all right.
So same thing with Supergirl. So it's going to be Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and just recently, I think maybe yesterday, it was announced that it's just going to be Supergirl.
Okay.
So he's like, it seemed to be looking back when we're looking forward. Okay. So even though like Supergirl is still going to still be dealing with the stuff that was in Tom King's run.
Right.
So yeah, I just thought that was interesting because it was like, man, and I'm kicking myself for not remembering what Superman was titled first. But yes, for Superman and Supergirl, I don't think they'll do that anymore as far as like, this character and then this comic series, like how they were going to do.
Okay. So they didn't want the reference to the comic series. That's why
it must be.
Okay.
Yep. Because I don't think, because I think James Gunn. I've seen interviews with him where he's said how there was issues with the DCU in the past where it's just like what's actually going on here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of like he's like basically doing our own thing essentially.
Right.
So
okay.
So I thought that was interesting.
All right.
But no, another thing I kind of which I was super sad about, and I don't know if anybody would have gotten it from your store, but was it Action or
Adventure Comics?
Yeah, 210.
Uh-huh.
The whole thing of you might win a ticket to go see the world premiere with the cast and the direct and James Gunn and stuff. And
is that still not true?
No, so I opened it and it said, "Oh, sorry, you didn't win."
Right.
I was like, "Oh, that's so sad."
You didn't get it. Yeah. No, they're definitely doing a Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
With this, so I did say if anyone won, they would have to sing "I've Got a Golden Ticket" in my store.
Yep.
So
I wonder how many there are. I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Actually, I have new information that they just announced that they are actually reprinting the issue because supposedly there was a printing error. But there'll be no tickets.
Oh, yeah.
So weirdly enough, that the issue that is currently on the racks supposedly got I think one page is maybe printed twice or something like that accidentally.
I'm gonna have to look.
But and there's some controversy about that particular issue from a retailer perspective.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Because basically that, I don't know where it is, but that comic in there has an ad to try out their new, I don't know if it's new or old, their like subscription service or whatever.
Oh, the DC comic ones.
Yeah. And so, this is a problem for people that obviously sell physical copies that
definitely.
were selling what is basically a promotional thing to get people to read comics on the web, basically.
Which really makes
no sense. So there are retailers out there that believe this was like some sort of a Trojan horse. So the other kind of, if you want to go conspiracy about the whole reprint thing, is that I don't think that the new version will have that in there, that there may have been enough backlash that they want to take it out or whatever and stuff
like
that. So, very interesting. This book all of a sudden. I
did not know that.
So maybe I'll just take whatever's left and we'll just open them live on
exactly
camera and see if I win tickets to go see Superman.
Oh goodness!
Because I will go.
Right.
All right. What do we got?
So up next, this is new, but. It's been out for a little bit. So there's an official Daily Planet Instagram.
Okay.
And you can join. So essentially, you can follow it, and then you can. It'll have it to where it'll ask you if you want to be messaged by them.
Okay.
So what it is basically is as if the Daily Planet exists in our world.
Okay.
And it's like they write articles and they do. It's really cool. Like it's like a newspaper article and they add some other stuff in there that's kind of cool.
But it's fake stuff.
It is
right?
fake stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. It's not like they're not reporting real news.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Still dealing with Superman. Like the Superman movie.
All right.
But I've been a part of it for maybe a week or so, and it's really cool.
Okay.
Like I really like it.
Now, does the stuff that they are doing articles on, do you feel like it is reporting on stuff that's happening in the comics as like kind of meta news?
I don't think they're really doing that because actually, I think there's only been 3 different posts as far as like newspaper because there's one written by Perry White, from the editor. I think there was another one like that. So I think there's only been actually 2 messages from them that's dealing with just everything we've seen in the trailers of Superman so far.
Okay.
So,
so wait. Oh, so you think it's more about the movie verse?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's super cool. I really like it. So yeah, next up we have. So James Gunn was in an interview and he said that Batman is their biggest issue right now at DC. So obviously we have Batman the Brave and the Bold, which we, if I remember correctly, we don't have a script for it yet. So, but yeah, he's essentially like, you know, Batman has to have a reason for existing. Like he doesn't want to do like what everyone else has done, and he wants to distinctly, you know, separate his Batman versus Matt Reeves' Batman,
Okay.
and stuff like that. And there's been a lot of people that I'm sure you've heard of, like, oh, we want Robert Pattinson's Batman to be in James Gunn's universe, and it's like, I don't know,
Well, just looking at the Superman stuff, it seems like Superman. We're finally going to get a DC world that's not super ass dark.
Yes, exactly.
So again, even the Batman, the Matt Reeves one, is a very dark movie. Mm-hmm. And so if they were going to do this, I kind of want that more Batman Adventures Batman. You know, I want the world's finest Batman, you know, where he's not all angsty about, death of his parents or stuff. Like he's already past that. Yeah. It's like he's just crime fighting now, and it's much more superhero-y, and it's not so psychologically, here's a psychologically damaged person who's trying to get through life, and
which actually raises a question. I don't know, and it might be different for different Superman Batman series, but like how much older? Because I think Batman is older than Superman. I thought, but I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure technically that Batman, in most of the more modern retellings, Batman had already been around for a while.
That's what I was thinking
when Superman starts doing his thing, because Batman is the one that tracks Superman down and says, "Right, I'm watching you. Mm-hmm. Like, what's your deal?" and that kind of thing. So
that's what I thought.
So yeah, it always seemed to me that when Superman was in his mid to late 20s, starting out as Superman, that Batman was in his early 30s. Like there's a 5 to 10 year gap in age, between them.
That's what I thought. So we will probably get an older than Superman in the movie Batman.
Yeah, so Robert Pattinson, like a young Batman, doesn't seem appropriate. It seems like we need a more mature. Well, I mean, we need the Batman that's in his prime.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've always get like a younger one just starting out, or we get an older one that's already past his prime. We want here's Batman. He's doing his thing. Yeah, it's awesome. So I don't know.
And still to this day, I don't know. Who I would really want to play Batman, to be honest.
It doesn't. It's like, again, the same thing with Superman. You get a good actor who's got a take on the character, and really it comes down to the writing. Like I said,
for sure.
I think we just want a more. I think now we just need a more actiony Batman who's just. He kind of also almost likes what he's doing, like in the animated stuff, especially. He likes being Batman. Yeah, he likes being a superhero and helping people and stuff. And so it's not this, oh, bro, it's just just this heavy kind of this burden and stuff like that. It's like he kind of
almost like gothic.
He kind of digs it and he's good at it, and it's just more fun and actiony, I guess. So I don't know. That's just me personally.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But that seems to fit more with the James Gunn. If we're right about this new world, that it's a lot less dark, it's more just like vibrant, I guess.
Which would be so nice. So, because that's what with Guardians of the Galaxy, like that was, just the way that it was color graded, the colors that he used, like I feel like James Gunn's really good about that. Like, right. His color palette in his movies and shows and stuff is just spot on. Yeah. So, but so kind of dealing with the Batman universe a little bit. We are going to have an adult comic-centered Red Hood series come out in September. Okay. So that'll be interesting because, Marvel's done their, Red Band, Blood.
Yeah, they call it Red Band. So Wolverines had one, Daredevils had one, Werewolf by Nights had one, Blades had one. So basically, that's their way of being able to insert, R-rated content. They bag it up so that you can't just flip through it.
Yeah.
So you're saying that they're gonna bag the Jason Todd one?
I think so. Okay. There was like when I was reading it, it didn't say anything about it, but I gotta think that probably.
I mean, it makes sense. He would be a good character to try that out. And see if it works. So okay.
Yeah, because this one,
do you know who's writing it?
Did I write that down? I did not write that down.
Okay. All right.
But no, this is essentially going to be about Jason Todd left Batman behind, and he's essentially going to this this city called New Angelique, I think it's called.
Oh, okay.
And he's basically taking his costume, his bike, and his determined sense of justice, and a metal briefcase containing 2 guns and a bunch of bullets. Okay. So all right,
that's nomad.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
But no, essentially this city is drowning in corruption, and so it's kind of like, I feel like a good place for him to kind of put down his roots.
Okay.
And but there's crime, vice and sedition everywhere, like within New Angelique.
Mm-hmm.
And when Jason discovers it's a superpowered serial killer who is targeting the city's police, he finds himself sucked into a deadly conspiracy with seemingly no end in sight.
Okay.
So I don't remember. I don't remember if this is going to be an ongoing or limited series. I think it's going to be a limited series, but I could be wrong about that. So that'll be.
Sounds like a limited series.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Okay.
I really like Jason Todd. So yeah, it'll be Red Hood. So I'm excited for that.
All right.
So, but that does come out in September.
Okay.
So now to kind of the funny part of this, I'm curious if you know about these.
All right.
So have you ever heard of the Superman or the Batman or the Joker manga?
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, we carry them.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally did not know about those.
Yes.
And so I was on a work trip last week, and we went to Barnes & Noble, and I was looking at their manga, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
So then I was like, and I had to look
there's a
these up.
Justice League one, too.
And they're, oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I knew nothing about those. Yeah. Don't know how.
Yeah.
But, so, if you guys watching, if you don't know about these, the 3 that I wrote down was, the first one was the Superman manga, and essentially it's him trying different Japanese foods. Essentially the whole time.
I've never read them. Yeah. I mean, we've carried them, like I said, never read them, so.
Yeah,
all
so, and it, not only about, trying different cuisines within Japan, but just like his adventures in Japan as well. So that there's some action in it. It's just so funny. Like, being in a manga form, you're like, wow, this is so weird. But the Batman one might be even funnier because so it's called Batman Justice Buster. And essentially, Batman has been like looking over Gotham City for only a short amount of time, and crime has kind of gotten a little bit bolder, a little more destructive. So, but the crazy. Oh wait, no, that's I take that back. It's not in this one. It's in the Joker one.
Oh, okay.
But in the Batman one, he essentially develops a computer system called Robin, to help him bring crime down, essentially.
Okay.
So that's kind of like what that. And I think there's only one of each, if I remember correctly, like one volume of each.
Joker has 2.
Joker has 2, okay.
I think Batman has 2. I know that they are doing a special box set.
Oh.
So there is a box set of all the DC manga coming out in August, maybe September.
I'm gonna have to
so there is a box set coming of those. But yeah, I'm almost positive Joker has at least 2, and I thought Batman had 2. I think Superman only has 1.
Okay, which that would make sense because
I could be wrong.
I feel like Superman was really just a silly one.
Right.
So I guess it was like, oh, you don't need necessarily a second one for that, But no, the Joker one is called One Operation Joker. And essentially, in this, there's a fight between the Joker and Batman falls into the chemical, that chemicals that the Joker falls into.
Mm-hmm.
And and so essentially the Joker, and it turns him into a baby. So, Joker's kind of feeling lost and kind of, empty inside with not having his arch nemesis to, fight and stuff like that. So the Joker's like, well, if I can't fight him and, things like that, I'll just go ahead and take care of him. So he raises Bruce, he raises Bruce from a baby.
Okay.
And all to find out that fatherhood is a little bit more difficult than he thought.
Sure. Okay.
I'm just like, when I saw that Barnes and Noble, I was like, I had to look up these other. And when I saw the Joker one, I was like,
yeah,
that's hilarious.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So no. Also, from Marvel, jumping back over to Marvel Studios, they so how they've put out a bunch. They've been. But it's come out like Disney has told Marvel where it's like, hey, we want to do quantity over quality. So they've been just pumping things out.
Right.
Especially like the TV shows, right?
Right.
So, but come to find out, they're finally taking a step back, and they're going to be doing quality over quantity.
Sure.
So they're stepping back, like Marvel Studios. Have you ever watched the Assembled things on Disney Plus?
Some of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're not going to do those anymore, for right now at least.
Right.
So they're which is kind of sad because I really like watching behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
So, but I get it. Like they're trying to take it, make the quality a little bit better. So, but so yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about that. Which I'm excited because now that James Gunn's over at DC, I feel like Kevin Feige and maybe even some of the executives like at Disney, they're like, oh crap, well we really better, because everything coming out about Superman. If I remember correctly, Superman sold more pre-order tickets than Fantastic Four did.
Okay.
So if I remember correctly. So
okay.
I think they're like, oh crap, DC like is stepping up their game. So they're like, maybe we need to as well.
Sure.
So
sure. I mean, well, I hope both do well.
Oh,
I hope both are really good movies, but I hope they both do well in the marketplace too. Like I said, it really is weird that you've got these two big movies and they're both coming out in the same month. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Seems like someone should have moved their movie. But
right, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. They're like, oh, this is prime, movie going. And it's like, well, I mean, it's the summertime. I mean, obviously people are going to go, but so yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I think we're in for a treat. I feel like so. Yeah. But my last thing is I saw an article where it seems like Marvel may already beginning the planning for a sequel of the Fantastic Four movie. So don't know what that's going to look like. All that I can think of is whatever, because I thought this Fantastic Four movie was just going to be a one and done, but I couldn't.
I mean, it does seem like that. I think you can plan for a sequel, but I think a lot of other stuff's going to have to shake out first to see what it actually is going to be about.
So, I think so. Yeah. I mean, it'll obviously be in the next phase of the Marvel movies. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much all we got for this episode of Comic Book News.
Okay. Yeah. Well, nice to get caught up, and there's always something going on. Mm-hmm. So I think if we get enough news, we'll come back and do another one.
Yeah, definitely.
So all right. Well, thanks, James.
Yeah,
I appreciate catching us up. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.